Worked at Int Air Force Base in the National Photographic Interpretation Center, and he got a accommodation from Curtis LeMay for his outstanding work in the USAF UFO program.
Yeah, that Leslie Groves guy had a lot of behind the scenes power. Jesse Michaels was in here talking about him a bit too, and he keeps coming up in a lot of conversations. But he's a mysterious guy in this history.
Yeah, and he's somebody that needs more research. For example, I don't have his FBI file, but you could certainly file for it, and you could get his military personnel file. Well, probably faster you can get the FBI file.
Why faster?
Well, because the National Personnel Records turns things around in 3 months to 6 months, where the latest request for this guy Lay. No, he's not on this list. But I put in a request, and they had 3,900 pages at the National Archives, and their response was, well, if you want us to declassify all 3,900 pages, you got to get in line, and it'll be 6 years.
6 years.
6 years. And
I might be dead in 6 years.
Exactly. I might have moved, but if you reduce your request to 400 pages, we can get you in the queue faster. We'll give you a higher priority, and it'll be 39 months.
That's still over 3 years.
Exactly. So this is an example of how the cover-up works, is that the National Archives doesn't have the resources to even process all the people. I have a long list. I could give the National Archives 40, 50 names of people that need their files declassified, and they don't have enough lawyers or resources to go through it and declassify it all. So it's underfunded. And Congress passed that law recently. It was sort of stripped down, but it still requires the National Archives to publish on their website UFO, UAP stuff, as well as submit it to, I think, ATIP or so they're doing some work, and it's difficult to get them to focus on what I want. I wrote him a letter. I wrote the archivist, head archivist, a letter saying, if you want help in pointing you in the right direction to find the truth in the National Archives, I can help you. And they never responded.
Yeah, I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
Not to that one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's so we're talking about the Majestic documents. So that's the Special Operations Manual 1994. And then there's a variety of documents that come to Tim Cooper and some.
Who was Tim Cooper again?
Tim Cooper is an interesting fellow. So Tim Cooper's father, Harry B. Cooper, worked at Int Air Force Base in the National Photographic Interpretation Center, and he got a accommodation from Curtis LeMay for his outstanding work in the USAF UFO program, which I have. It's in my book, Magic Eyes Only. An example of this accommodation letter with the gold seal and everything.
Curtis LeMay, another strange dog back there.
Yeah, right. Who definitely was up to his eyeballs in control.
Yes.
So Harry B. Cooper did a lot of work printing lots of classified documents in a cage at Int Air Force Base, which is now, I think, Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado. And his son, Tim, was watching his father at the JFK assassination on TV. And his father basically burst into tears and said, "Oh my God, they did it." And this made a really lasting impression on Tim. And he learned more from his father about UFOs and started filing Freedom of Information Act requests for lots of various things at White Sands Proving Grounds. And he was very much, he was a private investigator. He was a detective by training.
Yeah.
And so he did a level of investigative journalism that I haven't done, but I've got a lot of his original research.
But his dad says, "Oh my God, they did it."
They did it.
And it's
yeah.
the connotation there that
It
it had
is the
something to do with
connotation
UFOs?
and his emotional crying of his father is that that the counterintelligence guys assassinated Kennedy. Now the question is, why did they assassinate?
Why?
And so there's lots of reasons. I mean,
he had a lot.
A lot of reasons, but you could add the he's going to tell the UFO secret, and there's also one of the Majestic documents called National Security Action Memorandum number 271 and 274, one FOIA released and one leaked. But basically, it says, like, I don't know, a week before he's assassinated, I want you. This is a memo to the head of NASA, James Webb, saying, I want you to share the knowns and the unknowns with the Russians. With the Russians. The unknowns being the UFOs. And basically, I think that may have been yet another reason.
They're like, all right, this guy's got to go.
This guy's got to go. Is he wants to open the kimono and share the secret sauce with the Russians. He just, he'd gone through the Bay of Pigs and, the whole nuke thing. And that was not a pleasant experience for Kennedy and all those back channels. And we need to stop this. And he decided to make a strategic decision to say, let's cooperate instead of fight.
Yes. Yeah, there was a private red line between Kennedy and Khrushchev where they had, I think, up to like 18 very full-blown conversations that weren't like reported to anyone at the time. And one of the other key, I guess, outcomes of those conversations were these discussions between the two of them about the dangers of nukes and about decreasing the supply of nukes and like disarming both. And so when you talk with a lot of these ex-Intel guys, especially the ones who have some Cubano in their background,
right?
I think usually because of that, and even more so than the Bay of Pigs, it seems to me at this point, that's why they'll still call him a traitor or whatever. I would disagree with that assertion for sure.
Yep.
But, there were just so many things in even just like the 6 to 9 months before he was killed, where he was on, say, the wrong side of the issue versus intelligence.
Right.
And then head gets blown off.
Right. And James Jesus Angleton, which is the head of counterintelligence.
The spookiest of them all.
Right. Where a lot of the Majestic documents and these leaks to Tim Cooper occurred. This the source that kept giving Tim these various mail drops, as well as some direct mailings from other parties, was a gentleman by the name of a pseudonym called Cantwheel. And Cantwheel claimed to be part of the Interplanetary Phenomenon Unit, the IPU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the IPU has been freely admitted in multiple Freedom of Information Act requests to be a real unit, part of the Assistant Chief of Staff for Intelligence, Technical and Scientific Branch, Counterintelligence, Interplanetary Phenomena Unit. So this chain down. And Cantwheel was, going to the crash retrievals at the LA air raid in 42, right, and at Roswell and maybe many other cases, and had a fairly large file of material sort of outside of the Army, the Air Force, and the other agencies.
Watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here